Number 1 on your practice test for Chapter 7. Okay, so Chapter 7, practice test. Alright? So, I see that it's 30, and I know that this is 60. So I write in 60. Okay? Good. It's x and y. We don't care that it's x and y because we didn't use x's, did we? We used alpha, right? Remember our beginning equation for 30, 60, 90 looked like this? It had alpha, it had 2 alpha, and it had alpha square root 3. Okay? And that is for a right triangle, correct? And this side's smaller, so that would be across from 30. And this side is longer, so that would be across from 60. Okay? The longer leg is across from the bigger angle. Does that make sense? So the longest leg is across from the biggest angle, 90. So that's why that's always the longest leg. Because the other legs can't be 90. The most they can be is 89. Right? You have to have something left for the other angle. Does that make sense? To make it a triangle. Otherwise it's just a flat line. Okay? If you had 2 90s on there. Does that make sense? You have 2 90s, it wouldn't even be a triangle anymore. Right? There's no way to connect it. Okay? So, you're already at 180. Alright, so how am I going to set this up? Do you remember? Okay, let's... Phones away! I said this once, I'm going to say it now one more time on camera. Put your phone away. Unless you're watching this on your phone, and then of course that's okay. So, how am I going to put this? How does this help me? Now I got to do one of 2 things. I need to make this one look like that, or I need to make this one look like this. I don't care which one you do. I've seen both of them done on the last test. Okay? If I want to make this look like this, then I'm going to write a triangle that looks exactly like this one. Right? Or maybe this goes like that. There we go. Comes across, there we go, and I got my right angle. So if I have my right angle, what's across from the right angle?
2 alpha.
2 alpha. If I have my short side, what's on the short side? That means this is 30, right? So what's across from 30? Alpha. Good job. Right? So what's across from 60? So what's across from 60? Alpha square root 3. Now some of you might say, hey, I don't like to do it that way. I want to do it this way. That's okay also. Right? So, you know this is 90. On this one, what's across from 90?
X.
Okay? And then, what's on this short side? What's across from 30?
Y.
Okay? And what's the long leg? Across from 60? Square root 3. Okay? So either way works for me. I don't care which way you do it. It really doesn't matter. Okay? Whatever way works for you. From there, we're going to start doing our math. Now we need a 2-column proof, right? That's why I like colors. Okay? I want to look for a number. Where's the number? Out of all these sides, which one is an actual number? Is X a number? Is Y a number? Is square root of 3 a number? Yes. Square root of 3. I'm going to circle that. And I'm going to circle that. Because those sides go together. If that's what you're doing over here, you're going to circle this, right? Then you're going to circle that. And those sides go together. It doesn't matter which one you're doing. It's the same in both of them. Okay? Always start with the number. Alright? So once you have the number, now that's not a given. All of this is the given, right? This is your given. Does that make sense? And this is your given. Well, that's not even your given anymore. All of this is, you created this. Right? But this is your given. And from that, then you either create this, this, or this, right? And that's your second step. Does that make sense? Those right here are what? Definition of 30, 60, 90, right? So those are second parts or definition of 30, 60, 90. Now along with that definition of 30, 60, 90 is whenever we say two things are proportional or equal, right? When they're proportionate, they're equal. There's a fraction that says, hey, this times this is going to be that. Okay? So we know they're proportionate due to this whatever's in front of the square root. Okay? So in this case, we're saying, hey, alpha square root 3 is equal to the square root of 3. Okay? How many know the answer right now for alpha? Before we even start. You? Do you think you do? I think you do. Alright? Definition of 30, 60, 90. Or special triangles. Right? Alright. Now, what do we do to solve alpha? Divide. Okay? Now these cancel. So alpha equals nothing. Is that right? 1. Thank you. I knew I wasn't going to fool you. I knew she knew what it was from the beginning. I can see it in her eyes. Alright? So, she saw already that there really is a 1 out in front. There's 1 square root of 3. Right? We were talking about that last week on Friday. How many square roots of 3? There's 7 square roots of 3. Right? And they were like, oh my God, that's what it is? And I'm like, bing, bing, bing. Right? That was a week ago, a week and 3 days. But it still was pretty great when they started realizing that square roots of 3, we treat them just like x. Okay? X or y or a or b. Okay? So there's 1 square root of 3 there. Okay? That means alpha is 1. What did we do to do that? We did division property of equality, right? So what's our next step? So I'm going to take another color. Okay? Now that I know what alpha is, I can actually plug that in. 1 and 1. 1 and 1. Okay? And so now I pretty much know what everything is. Honestly, this is 1 square root 3, this is 1, and this is 1 times 2, which is 2. Done. But if you just give us those answers, if we just go, well, that means x is 1, or whatever, what would x be? 2? Thank you. X is 2 and y is 1. That's not going to work on the state test, will it? I mean, it'll be a good answer, so you get 1 point. You see what I'm saying? It's a nice, easy question. You get 1 point for that answer. You get 18. That's 25%. Ooh, let's go. Right? No? None of these? Right? Can't dance on that one. 25% is like sucks. Right? So we got to do more. We got to show that work. So, what am I going to show? I go straight. If I want, I can do this. Now this one, right, is the same as which one? Which one is across from 30?
1.
Alright. And it's the same on this guy. Okay? These are the same. So we're just saying that alpha, or we can say, yeah, alpha is equal to y. Alright? Now, that is definition of special triangles. 30, 60, 90. Okay? And then, what am I allowed to do with that? Then I can plug this in, right? And say that 1 is equal to y through substitution. Now, if I would have written these better, let's say I would have written 1 equals alpha, and then alpha equals y, then 1 equals y. That would be transitive property, right? So if you're doing the state test, you might want to switch this around before you do this one, right? Because if you switch it and go, oh, then I switch this to this, right? What's that called? That is that symmetric or is that reflexive? When you flip them. Symmetric or reflexive? When you flip. You remember? Reflexive, they look exactly the same. AB equals AB. Reflexive is they look exactly. Symmetric is AB equals BA. They're flipped, right? So that means if I flip this, that is the symmetric property. Okay? Now, come down here and we come to the same thing. Definition of special triangles. And then what's here? Now we have transitive property. Now, can you get away with substitution? Absolutely. Absolutely. Should you try to do transitive? Absolutely. I guarantee you they're going to ask you something on this state test about the transitive property. So you need to know what it means and how to get there. Okay? Alright, next. Use another color that I haven't used. What color haven't I used? I used green, I used red, blue, and purple. Red? Or I said red. Orange? Okay. Alright, orange. Orange is a lot like red though. Can we use brown?
Yeah.
Let's go with brown. Alright. So brown, I can't do a rectangle, so what I'll do is a triangle. Right? And this one, I've had problems with that my whole life teaching with the shapes. Because I basically have 3 good shapes. I have circle, triangle, and a rectangle. Those work really well. It's when you get more than 3 things that you're talking about, it starts to break down. Okay, but these are linked. This triangle is linked with this triangle, right? So all we're saying in this case is that x is equal to 2 alpha because of special triangles 30, 60, 90. Okay? And what do? Substitute it in, right? What is alpha? Alpha is 1, right? So we're going to substitute that in. Say x is equal to 2 times alpha, which is substitution. So x equals 2. So we know x and we know y. And those are the 2 things they were asking us. Oh, what did we do to get there? Simplify, right? Okay? And that is 30, 60, 90 all over again. Are we going to be doing a lot of these? You bet. Because someone told me we need to do more of these because in our first test we had a lot of them, right? A lot of the same things over and over and over again. They really liked that. So here you go. We got more.